Before I say anything, I'd like to ask Mika to do a short reading from the Champumogyang.
This reading comes from the Champumogyang, Book 4, Salvation Through the Holy Marriage Blessing, Chapter 3, The True Family Movement and True Family Tradition, Section 2, Blessed Family Traditions, Blessed Family Life. The family God is looking for is one whose standard is not limited to living just for their own family. The family God can be proud of ought to live on the world level. Because the way to make the family who can represent the nation, the world, and heaven is the way of the blessing, you must receive the blessing through the family of the Heavenly Parent. When families go the principled way of offering sincere devotion after receiving the blessing, their sons and daughters will be born with the heavenly fortune of the Unification Church. Even if the father and mother have no special abilities, the children will still be born with heavenly fortune. How much heavenly fortune can we leave our descendants? It will be decided by how much sincere devotion we, as their parents, have offered. How much were we loyal to our nation, the world, and heaven? How seriously did we offer sincere devotion? That is what determines the fortune of our descendants. When we take action with a selfish mind, heaven will never side with us. When we act in order to satisfy selfish desires, God will never side with us. When we stand for the sake of the world, nation, and people, then God will be with us. Therefore, blessed families have to practice higher and wider love.
It's great, isn't it? I think so. So hello, my name is Abe, of course. I'm your co-pastor. Mika and I took the kids on an 8-hour journey to Toronto the past week. It was a lot of fun. I was there for an ukulele teachers conference, and we were able to spend some time in Niagara Falls and in the city of Toronto. We had a 3-hour commute from the center of the city to where we were staying, so it was a lot of fun. No, that's sarcastic, but it really wasn't as bad as you might think with kids under 5. So these days, we're all really connected, right? We have our phones in our pockets, we have emails. It's really, really easy to get a hold of someone, right? We're really connected to the world as well. We have news reports from all over the world, good and bad. Lots of things are happening, but it's amazing how connected we are now, right? I can hear from someone in Europe in a matter of seconds, really. It takes no time at all. And especially with, the age of the smartphone. I don't have my phone right now. I need a prop, but it's so easy to just stay connected to everything. So what I wanted to talk about is keeping God in your pocket. Whether you want to keep God in your pocket or your heart or your mind, the whole point is to stay connected to God. So, Pokemon Go is probably one of the coolest games of all time. No lie. How many of you have heard of Pokemon Go? How many of you play Pokemon Go? Notice my hand's still up. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I'd like to show you a little clip, just so you have a better idea of what it is. Looks pretty exciting, huh? So, if you didn't get it from that, basically, the game is on your phone, and it takes your world, the city that you live in, the roads, the streets, whatever, and puts it in the game. And as you walk around in real life, things happen, okay? So it's amazing because more people are outside than ever, but it's also kind of scary because more people are looking at their phones now more than ever, right? I don't know if you've seen this at the park or in the city, big hordes of people with their phones up like this. They're actually looking for a Pokemon on the chair or on their friend's head. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of funny. It's really cool. But, it's just another one of those things that just wants your attention all the time, grabbing your attention, right? So obviously, my question is, what if God was like that? What if his attention was inescapable? What if you could not avoid God? What if God was in your face, screaming at you, "Catch me!" I think God is doing that. It's not, an actual physical device you can hold. It's a lot harder. So, to better explain my point that I want you to take away today, I have to explain a little bit about how to be good at this game. So the first thing is you have to actually have the app open, okay? You can't just put your phone to sleep and put it in your pocket. You have to actually have the game open. And as you're walking around, it'll buzz, it'll ring, it'll say, "Oh, there's something here. There's a Pokemon, you have to catch it." You don't have to catch it, but the point is that you're always aware of your phone. It happens with Facebook, it happens with your emails, with phone calls. You're always aware it's there, but you're not always thinking about it, right? But as soon as something happens, what do? Some people do it in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of dinner. It's really hard to escape, right? You know what I'm talking about. See? Toby knows. Sorry, Toby. I'm not saying it's not important. Obviously, if your wife's having a baby or your wife's not having a baby, you better pick up the phone, right? So another thing, of course, is when the Pokemon do pop up and you don't have your phone out, you have to be ready, right? You have to be ready to jump on that opportunity. It might be the strongest Pokemon in the whole city, and only you get it, right? It might be a Gyarados or whatever. I'm sorry if you don't know what a Gyarados is. It's really cool. That's all you need to know. But another thing is, in the game, attached to real life points of interest like the arches at Seaside, there are what they call Pokestops. If you go to them with your phone open, you get stuff. You get free stuff, you get experience, you get stronger. It's pretty cool, but you have to actually go there. You can't be here and open it up and say, I'll get free stuff. You have to actually get off your butt and do stuff, right? You have to be active. Another thing that's very interesting with this game is there are gyms. Basically, you go there with your own creatures, your own Pokemon, and you try to take over. You try to be the best like no one ever was. So, like I said before, having the app open is just an awareness. It's pretty simple to do that with God. If you carry God with you all the time, it's not like you need to think God, 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 God. Dishes, wait, I'm not thinking about God. God, God, God. That's not going to work, right? It doesn't work with the Pokemon game. It doesn't work with Facebook or your emails. You can't just sit there staring at it, right? It has to be a part of you. It has to be something you're aware of. It's the same with God. If you're just aware of God, you can keep God with you anywhere. Anywhere, really. It's not just the bad situations. When things are going good, people don't pray very often, right? It's usually when things are going bad. But God's there all the time. So, the Pokestops and the being ready for a Pokemon, I like to think of that as the situations in your life that cause you to react a certain way. It could be good, it could be bad, right? They could be recurring, like when your kids spill some juice, or when your wife forgets to get you that one snack that you really love, and she knows you love it, right? It's something that happens all the time. And what I want you to think about for a second is these things that happen all the time, or just every now and then, think about how you're reacting to them. Think about whether you're excited, whether you're upset, whether you feel like you need revenge. Like I said, it could be a good or a bad thing. And this is very general because I think it applies to everything, even if it's right now. And I'm telling you, it's as easy as being aware of God. That will change your life. For a second, you might think, that's stupid. That doesn't work. That's also a reaction. Do you think if you're apathetic, God can be with you? I don't think so. So of course, the gyms are a little bit tougher to make an analogy for, but I like to think of the gyms as just taking something you're really good at, and we're all really good at something, and just keeping God in that. Because God is our parent, and what do parents want more than anything in the world? They want to know what their kids are doing. They want to know what their kids love, no matter what it is. Of course, sometimes we might feel parents are too pushy, right? Because they want us to do this and this and this, but fundamentally, parents just want to know what their child likes, right? If you're a parent, you know exactly what I mean. If you aren't a parent, that's okay. You have parents. We all have parents. And it's the same. God just wants to know, what's up? What are you doing? Where are you going? Right? There was a moment when, in our relationship, Mika's mom calls her all the time. And usually, when she actually is able to pick up, I feel like I'm cut out because I was talking to my wife and now I'm not. And it's going to be a long phone call. Right? But then I realized there's no way I can get angry at this situation. Right? So that was an instance where I noticed myself reacting a certain way. I thought, I'm getting angry because Mika's mom is calling her. Does that make any sense to you? Doesn't make any sense to me now. Of course, in the moment, it made sense. It's totally cool. I can be angry. I was talking to her first. She's married to me. She's not married to you. You know, I can come up with all these reasons. But that's when I push out God. That's when I'm not aware and I don't have the app open. I can't catch any Pokemon. Right? I'm going to miss out. Everybody's going to out-level me. It's that simple. So, Mika's mom called her. I got upset, and I realized, this is dumb. I can't be upset. If I want God to be in this moment, now that I have noticed my reaction, what am I going to do about it? And I decided, I'm just going to let it go. It doesn't matter. Mika's mom loves her, obviously. Mika's mom wants to know, what's up? What are you doing? What's going on? Why are you doing that? That's cool, right? It's exciting. So this type of situation has come up in the past week. I decided at the beginning of last week, as I was getting engulfed in Pokemon Go, I thought, what if I could have this type of care and concern and mindset to keep God with me? Because I think in general, I'm a pretty good person, right? Right? I'm pretty good. But I definitely don't have the awareness 100% of the time to make decisions with my original nature as opposed to my fallen nature, right? So this past week, it was a challenge, of course. I had lots of challenges. Driving in a car for a long time with kids. I can't even begin. But the moments when I caught myself and I thought, I'm getting upset and my kids are upset. We've been in a car for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. We need to take a break. Does it help if I'm getting upset? No, it doesn't. And I can change it from that point. But the main point I want to tell you today is just, all it takes is an awareness, okay? It's not complicated to live your life in a godly way. There are at least 2 people that did a really good job, right? Do you know who I'm talking about? True parents, that's right. I don't think it's as complicated as we tend to think. All it takes is an awareness. So this past week, I challenged myself to have this level of awareness as much as I possibly could. I said, I want to do it 100% of the time. After the first day, I knew it wasn't possible 100% of the time. But every day I recommitted, I reflected on what were the key moments when I knew I got lost and I knew I got carried away in my own emotion and my own selfishness. Usually it's the negative things that I notice right away. There are, of course, positive things. I was in a ukulele teacher conference, so for 2 days straight I got to hang out with a bunch of ukulele teachers. How cool is that, right? It's very easy to get lost there and not really include God in the moment. But when I could catch myself, whether the kids were upset in the car or whether I was playing ukulele with a bunch of other ukulele nerds, this wave of positivity just washed over everything. And everyone's heart just changed. There was no big aha moment. There was no breakthrough. That's what I was expecting. I was thinking, if I do this condition, something's going to happen. A week of doing this, something is going to explode in my brain, But there was no moment like that. It was just a constant habit I was trying to build, and I'm still trying to build it right now. So there was one moment in particular, it wasn't amazing, but it was pretty cool to see the impact of this awareness that I'm trying to build in myself. Peter was very upset because he didn't get what he wanted. Do you know Peter, my son? He's the second. He's the blonde hair, blue eyes one. So he's 3. He didn't get what he wants. You know what 3-year-olds do when they don't get what they want, right? What do? Do they ask nicely? No, they don't. They cry and they scream and they kick and they fight. And sometimes they bite. Especially him, he's a biter. But anyway, I noticed he was getting upset. Okay, I'm a parent, I can be patient. But I wasn't being patient. I was getting upset as well because of what he was doing to his brothers and sisters. And of course, I think that's justified, right? If you're angry and you're hurting your brothers and sisters, I need to step in. It seems perfectly justifiable, but I had a lot of my negative emotions mixed up in there. When I noticed myself doing that, of course I need to stop Peter from hurting his brothers and sisters. But when I noticed the way I was reacting emotionally, I could change it, right? How to change it? It's really up to you. The way I do it is once I see it, I determine, is this worth it? And it's almost never worth it, okay? The question I always come back to is, do I want to be unhappy? I don't think anyone in the world would say yes to that question, right? So once I got to that point and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to let it go and just try to comfort Peter. And it was like instant. It was like no more tantrum. It's like, what? Where did this go? It was amazing. And all it was my mindset changed. And how did it change? I changed it. But first thing was I needed to be aware of it, right? So what I want to ask all of you today to do, just like Pokemon Go, and if you don't play Pokemon Go, just like your phone or just like the thing that you're always thinking about, just try to be aware of how you are reacting to things and what you think God would prefer you to act like, right? We're all made for love. We're not all made for anger and resentment and bitterness and sorrow and suffering. That's not what we're made for, right? So just think about it. Notice yourself, I'm getting upset. It seems justifiable in the moment, of course, many times if it's a negative thing, but don't forget about the positive things, right? God wants to be with you not just when you're suffering. God doesn't want to just carry you through the bad times. God wants to be there with you every moment, okay? So all it is, like I said, is just be aware. It's a habit that has to be built up. I really don't think after my week and after seeing, the tremendous life that your parents led and all that they've been through, I don't think it's going to happen in a moment that all of a sudden you'll be perfect. I think it's something you have to work on constantly. It's really tough to do every moment of every day, but like I said, it's very simple. You just have to be aware of yourself and God, right? You can't change others, right? So even if, like I said, even if Peter's upset, I can't change him. He can be upset all day if he wants, but I can't let that affect me. I just need to be the best parent that I can be. And I have control over that. I don't have control over Peter. So, like I said, I tried this for a week. I thought it was amazing. And it's really simple. It's not like some huge grand plan. I just took everything I knew and everything that was exciting and grabbing my attention, and I said, what is it that has a hold of my brain? And I really think it just boils down to being aware. So, yeah, that's basically it. Eventually we get to a point where we think, this is dumb. This isn't going to work. But that's part of it too. That's still a reaction, right? In every moment, you can fall away and get upset. And that's totally cool. God doesn't really care how many times you get upset and throw things, right? God's still going to be there to pick up the pieces. But you just have to be aware of it, right? The forgiveness is always there. The love is always there. Screaming in your face, but unfortunately it's not physical. It's not buzzing in your pocket right now. Does anyone here have a Pokemon right now? No, okay. Anyway, so to close, I'd like to actually invite up Mika to sing another song with me.
You, O Lord, are my stay. Humbly came my soul to say, to light the way. Oh, oh. And all I have is found in you, Christ in me, all things true, all things pure, all things good. You are the great I am. So unchanging, your promises sure, never ending, your love will endure. You were, you will be, you always are the great I am. You, oh Lord, will remain
Thank you. Please join me in prayer. Dearest, most beloved Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, our true parents, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you so much for this amazing gift of life that you've given us. God, there's so much grabbing for our attention. There's so much screaming out for us to just look, to just think, to just be with. God, we don't want to forget about you. We want to keep you at the front. We want to keep you at the very top, the really center of our attention. Every moment of every day, we have so many different things to think about, so many different things to deal with. God, all we need to do is just invite you in those moments. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes a second. We don't want you to just be there to pick up the pieces. We don't want you to just be there when things are not going the way that we want them to go. God, we want you to be there to enjoy the good moments with us too. We want you to be there every single second. All that it takes is for us to open our hearts, to open our minds. We know that you are there all the time. You're not physically in our pockets or on our backs. You are with us. You are a part of us. I really pray that everyone here can really take you with them everywhere they go, every single moment, whether it's the good or the bad, and even the boring moments, even the moments when nothing is happening. I really pray that we cannot forget you. It's easy to remember you here on Sunday and when we're reading Hundake and when we're praying. But God, we don't want to forget you in all the other moments. There's so much time in our day spent for so many other things. We want to live them with you. And we want to truly be the very best that we can be. We have the best examples in the world to look up to. And you've given us everything we need. I just pray that we can always see it and always feel it. I pray all this in my name, Abraham Deshotel, bless your family.